Grand Rising, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm here every Monday and Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope everybody had an amazing holiday weekend. If you celebrated or if you didn't, I don't know. But we're going to talk about visualization, feelings, how your mood contributes to what your life looks like and unfolds and how it unfolds. And how other people come into your life for life lessons, which is also very, very interesting. Hi to everybody that's joining. I was supposed to go live last night to discuss my retreat. Today is the last day for $1,500 off of the retreat ticket. So I just wanted to talk about and promote that because we're going to be talking about manifestation at my retreat, which is super exciting, and among many other things. We have amazing speakers there. Rodney LaVoy Jr. will be there. My sister will be speaking on manifestation and quantum leaping. Plant-based Ben, who's going to be talking about transformation, body transformation. Alex Zek. I don't know what he's going to talk about yet, but I'm excited to hear about it because he always has something super, super interesting. We have Johnny Has Lost It, or Seek Oneness. He'll be there, and you guys know him because he's on here with me. We have Lindsay Little talking about emotion code healing, and then we have Stephanie the Walk-In, who is going to be talking about soul connection and what it is to be human. So it's going to be really, really wonderful, and I'm super excited. Tulum, Mexico, March 22nd to the 27th. Had to get that out of the way. It is a nonprofit, so tickets may be used as a tax deduction. Not Quantum Leap like the TV show, no. But it's going to be better, actually. So there's that. Just wanted to talk about that, plug that real quick. Is the sun going to come out? I think it's going to be too bright in here. So the more and more I do this work on manifestation and learning how I can create my own life, the more I see the puzzle pieces coming together that your thoughts create. And if this is unfamiliar to you, or you're not usually on my lives on Mondays and Thursdays, it might be foreign to you to learn about this stuff and to learn that our thoughts create. So when we have, like, and I've talked about this before, when you do a massive meditation, you can totally shift the frequency on the planet by having thousands upon thousands of people. Even if millions of people did these meditations, the frequency of the earth would completely shift. So if you know that to be true, if you know that by thinking and going into a meditative state and seeing a peaceful world, or seeing what you want to happen can happen simply through thought, then why would you think that you are not powerful enough to create your own reality as well? And that is the main focus on these chats on Mondays and Thursdays, is to remind ourselves of how powerful we are and that our thoughts do create. So if we live and ruminate in a world in our mind that is negative all the time, only negative can come from that. There's no way for something positive to come from that, unless there's a certain belief system somewhere that gives you that really good feeling. But most people that are in a negative mindset, most people that live in that negative space all the time, that their life is just not good and they're just not lucky and things like that, you're usually not going to have, or you're just not going to have that lifestyle that you want, and you always wonder why you have bad luck, wonder why nothing great happens to you, wonder why you don't have the life or the relationship or the job, career, the home that you want. So I want to get into, hi everybody that's just joining, the spirit numbers or the angel numbers. There's a lot of that in the Project 369 book that I can go through. But this is from The Law and the Promise by Neville Goddard. My sister got me this one. I have a lot of his books, but they're on my Kindle thing because if I'm somewhere and I don't have a book or something and I just want to look something up, I want to be able to do that so I don't have to carry a stack of books with me. So I prefer it to just be a downloaded thing. Okay, there is no fiction. So this is from chapter 4, there is no fiction. There is no fiction. If an imaginal activity can produce a physical effect, our physical world must be essentially imaginal. To prove this would require merely that we observe our imaginal activities and watch to see whether or not they produce corresponding external effects. So that could be a good thing for each of us to do, is to really pay attention to what's happening in our external world and then relating it back to, oh, that's what I was thinking. Not the exact thing that unfolds, but what state of mind are you coming from to look at your external world and say, I remember being in that state of mind. I remember thinking, you know what, I'm just like not worthy. I'm just not chosen. I'm not good enough for that. I remember being in that state, or I remember having all is synchronized. Absolutely. So if we can look at our external world right now, pick out anything, whether it's where you live. I'll take that for example, where we live, right? So when I had moved from LA, I came back to the East Coast, and it was during, I actually didn't move yet. I was staying with my family during quarantine back in 2020. I had an apartment that was sitting in LA vacant. And then when I decided that I was going to leave that apartment, I stayed with my sister for a little bit, and she was like, please, I want you to stay with me. I want you to stay with me. But in my mind, I already had moved into a brand new apartment that was designed with everything that I wanted. I wanted it to be so uniquely me. And so there was nothing anybody could say that was going to tell me different. There was nothing that no way she could have convinced me that I was going to continue to live with her because she wanted me to. And my whole life, like, I love to people please for many other reasons, right? But at this point, I was like, I want my own space. I need to do my own thing. I need to be able to film when I want. I need to be able to do anything that I please, right? So I manifested this space. I even manifested the store that I was going to find all these things, like these doors right here. I knew that I wanted antique stuff mixed with more modern, like this pink light here, and mix everything together. I knew that I wanted to do that. So when we look at our reality and then we look in our mind, does that match? The answer is yes, whether you admit it to yourself or not. If you have a life that you don't like, you can go into your mind and know exactly why your life is like that. What is your I amness? And I talk about this all the time. What are the words that follow I am? I am loved. I am always chosen. Or I am not good enough. I am not thin enough. I am not loved. What are the thoughts that come after, or the words that come after I am? So for me, I am an artist. I am creative. I am living in a space that I absolutely love. I feel like I love this space too much because I just love being here. But I created it through my manifestation. So if we look at our life right now and we don't like some of the things, there's some things that I don't like in my life. So I go back into my mind and I say to myself, how did I create this? How was I able to create this bullshit? I have a poem called I Am. Well, what does it say after I am? So to prove this would require merely that we observe our imaginal activities, what we think of, what we tell ourselves every single day, and watch to see whether or not they produce corresponding external effects. If they do, then we must conclude that there is no fiction. Today's imaginal drama in the mind, which is fiction, becomes tomorrow's fact. We understand that? Today's imaginal drama, what we think of today, becomes tomorrow's fact. That becomes our 3D reality. And this concept might seem so foreign to many people that are not into subconscious mind, how it works. Because again, I always say this, it's not something that just people in the spiritual community do, or that hippies do, or whatever. This is actually science. It's based on science. They always say that science and spirituality are one and the same, and I truly believe that they are as well. Cause equals effect. Yep. Today's imaginal drama, fiction, becomes tomorrow's fact. If we had a wider view of causation, that causation is mental and not physical, that our mental states are causative of our physical effects, then we would realize our responsibility as a creator and imagine only the best imaginable. So if we knew that our thoughts created and that we were responsible for what happens in our reality, And this is so unconscious that most people will probably never realize that their reality is based on what happens on the inside first. So it's not our outer world then creates our inner world, which is our feelings. That person on the outside did this to me, and now I feel sad. Or now I feel happy. It's the inner world. When you have the self-love, when you have the self-concept, that is one that is positive, that is one that is abundant, then you can create, or then the world outside of you will create that. It will reflect that. If you look in the mirror, I said this last week, if you look in the mirror and see something you don't like, do you try to change the reflection that you're looking at, which is the outside world, or do you try to change the inside? I don't know. What do you do? Most people will try to change everybody around them. This person treats me like this. This person disrespects me. This person is whatever negative thing is. So look on the inside and notice how you feel about yourself. So if you feel that that person is disrespecting you, what about yourself do you not believe is respectable? I know so many people that don't respect themselves. And not because I do it on purpose, but I look at them differently than a person that demands respect. You know the people that are pushovers that you have met in your life or that are in your life. You don't treat them differently because you're mean. You just treat them differently because that's how they see themselves. It's not because you don't respect that person, but it's just different. I went out with someone that was such a pushover, and it was like, I didn't want to be that way towards him or walk all over him, but he allowed it. And it's not because I chose to do it, but it was just like he had no boundaries. Right? So you show up for people in the way that they see themselves, in the same way that people show up for you, in the same way that you see yourself. I hope that that's clear. Fable enacted as a sort of stage play in the mind is what causes the physical facts of life. Man believes that reality resides in the solid objects he sees around him, that it is in the world that the drama of life originates, outside. Mankind believes that the outside world is the real reality, instead of realizing that the inside world is the reality that plays out into the outside world, and then that becomes your reality. This is from The Law and the Promise by Neville Goddard. How many people can say that they know they've manifested things from their thoughts? Most of us do it unknowingly every single minute of the day. Every minute of the day we're manifesting, whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not, whether we understand it or not. We're manifesting at all times of the day. For example, when my mom had to get surgery, I said to myself, now I'm going to go up to this hospital and I'm going to get in a fight about these masks. My sister went the day before. She had no issues. I went up there, and what do you think happened? That the whole story unfolded as I saw it. That a nurse was going to come in, and I was going to argue with this nurse, and she was going to try to throw me out of the hospital. I imagined the whole thing, and then it happened. That's not just like coincidence. And I know that once people start to pay attention to their thoughts creating, that you're going to at first be like, oh, it's just a coincidence. Oh my God, I just thought about that. You just thinking about that and realizing you just thought about that is your manifestation happening because of your thinking. But I manifested that scenario. We manifest everything that happens in our lives. And most people cannot fathom that because we're not taught this information. Because if we were taught that our thoughts create and that we can actually create the best reality that we could ever imagine, we would not be able to be trampled on. We would not be disempowered. We would be a force to be reckoned with. We would understand the way life works. Yes, I save all of these lives, so yes, I'll save it. Okay, so let me just repeat that again. Man believes that reality resides in the solid objects he sees around him, that it is in the world that the drama of life originates, that events spring suddenly into existence, created moment by moment out of not even physical facts, but causation does not lie in the external world of facts. The drama of life originates in the imagination of man. The real act of becoming takes place within man's imagination, not without. So let's read that again. The real act of becoming takes place within man's imagination, not without. I know that many people understand this, but there's probably some people that don't quite get what I'm talking about. So if you don't know what I'm talking about and you want more explanation, I will absolutely explain it. So, how can we change our life? Yes, it's a book by Neville Goddard. It's The Law and the Promise. How can we change our life knowing that our thoughts create? If we know that our thoughts are creating everything, how can we change it? What can we pay more attention to? And I know that our thoughts are just automatic. That's the program. So again, I'll go back to the computer. If from when you were a child and you were programmed, because that's exactly what all of us were, 70% of that programming that was uploaded as a child, 70% of it is negative. Law and the Promise. 70% of what we upload into our consciousness, or is uploaded rather, based on the people that we are around and that our mind is impressed upon from, 70% of that is negative. So if you are running in programs, now let's say you have a brand new computer and you're like, oh, I want to play games. The computer is not going to play games because there's no games programmed on the computer. So say you upload those games, you can now play the games, right? Say you uploaded something negative, a virus, into your computer. Your computer is going to spout negative things. Your computer is not going to work as it could. Your computer is not going to work up to its potential. So if you have viruses that are uploaded into you by the way that you were parented, by the people in your life, the people that had influence in your life from when you were a child till you're 7, when the consciousness is most impressionable, and you have all of these negative things. You can't have this. You'll never amount to anything. You're a bad kid. We can't afford this. All of these negative things. That is being uploaded into your consciousness. The rest of your life, unless you change it, unless you work to reprogram your subconscious mind, you will operate from those programs. Because if you have a computer that you upload the programs to, you can't say, oh, I want to play Wheel of Fortune when that game is not uploaded into your computer. That programming is not there. In the same way that if you have a very negative mindset, you can't say like, I'm just going to think from a happy place today. You don't have that program. So you have to impression the subconscious mind through repetition to be able to then come from that space, to impress your computer. You all right, buddies? To impress your computer with that program, for that program to stick. You can't upload half of a program and be like, oh, okay, now I'm going to operate from this. Or now my computer's going to do this. It's not done uploading. So if you think that you're going to think positively for 5 minutes out of your day, and then your computer's just going to play from that space of happiness, you only uploaded this much. You need this much to come from that space. You only uploaded this much. So it is something that you have to work on. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. Impressioning the subconscious mind does not have to be hard work unless you think that it's hard. And for a long time, I thought that it was hard. So why was I not able to do it? Because I was thinking, impressioning my subconscious mind is hard. This is going to be difficult. The Conscious Catalyst just came in. I did 2 healing sessions with him so far. And I'm glad that he showed up at that very moment, because before I did my healing session with him, I believed manifestation and being able to change was hard or even impossible. I worked for 6 months to a year straight of obsessing over manifestation. I'm like, why is this so difficult? Why is this so difficult? This shouldn't be this difficult. So automatically I'm programming in my mind. Hi, Robert. I'm programming in my mind that it is difficult, but also I didn't realize I was coming from a trauma brain state. And I talked about this 2 lives ago, I think. When you come from a trauma brain, and your mind is not coming from a healthy state. So once I did my session with him, he took away all of the excess feelings of the anxiety or the panic or the spiraling, all of these things. So now I can, since removing all that negative energy or entities, whatever it was that he did, I now come from a more centered place, so that if something isn't going my way, I don't spiral from it. I'm able to look at it from a neutral place and say, yeah, I don't like that. So let me see how I can change that. What thoughts do I need to rework or rewire, enable for me to get A, B, and C, or to have A, B, and C, right? So doing energy work is insanely, insanely important. Generational curses, we are here to reverse them. Yes. So let's talk about meditation and visualization a little bit. Because that I didn't understand at first either, or why it was so important. And when I do my visualizations, things happen so much faster because I am dwelling in the state of the wish fulfilled. What is your end? If your end is to have your dream job or your dream house or the most amazing relationship, or I don't know, whatever it is, to become a musical artist or whatever, meditation and visualization will really help to impression the subconscious mind with good feelings. And that goes for good or bad feelings. Your subconscious mind doesn't give a shit if you're impressioning it with good things or bad things. It just simply takes your order. Your waitress doesn't care if you're going to get diarrhea later from something that you're allergic to and you're not supposed to eat. You're telling her that's what you want, so she's going to bring it. In the same way that you impression your subconscious mind, the universe brings you what you tell it. So if all day long you're telling the universe, it's so hard to lose weight, I am so fat, I am so unhealthy, I am so ugly, I'm always sick, the universe is just taking your order and saying, okay, got it. You're sick, you're fat, and you're ugly. Here you go. That's for you. It doesn't care what you're saying to it. It's just going based on your impressioned beliefs. So meditation is a great way to change that. It's a great way to impress your subconscious, because your subconscious doesn't know if it's real or you are perceiving it to be real. Extra diarrhea on the side, please. I know I come up with some shit, but you know what I'm saying. It gives you the visual, like, oh, okay, I get it. So if your subconscious doesn't know what's real and what's not, when you watch a horror film of people being slaughtered in the worst way possible, first of all, you're in, Robert perfectly said, you're in a theta brainwave state. So you're in this trance-like state, which is when you are most impressionable with your subconscious mind. So if you're literally watching a horror film and you're watching people slaughter, or you're watching people, there's funeral scenes and death and things, and it's really sad and it's really, really tugging at your heart, then that's impressioning your subconscious to draw things like that to you. That's why TV is so important, to program the minds of millions and billions of people. Because you're in that relaxed state and your subconscious is being fed all this information. People are dying, war, explosions, there's not enough food. That's impressioning your subconscious mind. So if so many people come from a lack mentality already, because 70% of your subconscious mind, your uploaded programming, 70% of it is negative. So that's only adding to that belief. When you're watching propaganda, when you're watching the news, that's always negative. It's just continuing to program your subconscious that there's not enough. There's not enough food. There's shortages of cars, or there's murder, and there's always danger, and it's not safe. The world is not a safe place. That is continuing to upload into your mind and to continue the cycle that life is not safe. So then you go into a fear state, and that fear state then spins you into a low vibrational frequency. And that low vibrational frequency is then extended to the people around you, because then you have anxiety and then you're not functioning properly. And you can see how this can snowball to where the whole entire world is coming from that space, which is why it's so important to shut off your TV, stop reading the propaganda, stop looking at all this shit, stop following accounts that only will keep you in a perpetual state of fear 24 hours a day. And there's so many people that are truthers that just spread negativity and they don't even realize how divisive it actually is. Awareness is key, absolutely, but dwelling in that state is not. And most of these people they dwell in this state of negativity. They look for it. They look for the next headline. They look for the negativity to spread because they think that they're doing good and exposing. So much of this stuff is not important. Are there some things that are very important? Yes. But most of these people dwell in this stuff and then wonder why it continues to happen in our reality. You are helping these evil entities co-create the reality that you don't want. And I know that people don't understand this. This is foreign to a lot of people. That you don't understand how the mind works because we're not taught how the mind works. But once you understand it, it is our responsibility to either stop following people or enlighten people. We have two choices. Stop following people that share this negative shit or enlighten people. Hey, the more that you share this, the more you keep it alive. And I'm going to go back to monkeypox. Where did that go? It was out of the news cycle in 2 weeks? Because people were like, are you kidding me? You really think that we're going to believe that this virus just came out of nowhere? And what happened? People stopped sharing it. And then what happened? It disappeared. That's simple. Where your attention goes, energy flows. Is that how you say it, or is it backwards? Where your attention goes, energy flows. So if your attention continues to go to all this negative stuff all the time, the energy is going to continue to flow in that direction. But if you start to consciously create the life that you want and you stop looking at this garbage, it's not going to exist in your reality. People are saying, oh, did you see this? Oh my God, did you hear that? No, I didn't, because I actually don't give a shit anymore. I don't pay attention to anything political. I don't care what these fake people in office say. I don't care what's going on, because I'm busy making changes to my mental state. And once you take control of your mental state of being, no one can control you. No one can make you afraid. No one can take your power away. Once you take it back into your own hands, it is then your responsibility to create the reality that you want. And if everybody took their reality by the balls and created it the way that you wanted, the things that we're so fearful of would not be able to exist. If every person started planning their own food, if every person started changing their mindset, if every person started to raise their frequency, would you be able to be manipulated? Would you be able to be controlled? No, you wouldn't. And then, look at China, for example. These people finally have had enough. They've been locked down for, I don't even know how long, but they've finally had enough. And now they're realizing their power. Like, hey, there's way more of us than there are of them. And now all of a sudden they're fighting back. There's people all over the streets fighting back in China because people are realizing their power. Once you realize your power, you can never be disempowered again. Nobody's going to take it from you ever again. So if you know that your thoughts are creating, and what you're putting into your thoughts and in your mind and what you're watching on TV is going to create your reality, you're going to pay attention a lot more to the things that you consume and to the people that you surround yourself by. If you understand that people's negative talk, people that are around you that are always complaining all the time, that energy rubs off onto you. And the people who you no longer resonate with, they're going to fall out of your life because you're no longer in vibrational alignment with these people. We have a huge job to do as human beings, but it was hijacked long ago. Our consciousness was hijacked a long time ago and actually used against us. which is why I talk about psychological warfare all the time, because our consciousness was literally, mind fucked. You know when you hear like it's a mind fuck? We've been mind fucked since we were born. So until you realize the power that you hold within your human body, within your consciousness, you're always going to be disempowered. You're always going to live in fear. You're always going to live in lack. You're always going to feel like you don't have enough of, because you don't realize that if I change my mindset to an abundant mindset, and I really work on that I can have all the things that I want in life. If I hate my job, I created that reality. I created the reality that I don't deserve to be happy, that I don't deserve to be fulfilled, that I don't deserve to have the money that I am worth. We create our reality. So until we take responsibility of those realities that we create, that our thoughts create what happens in our reality, you're always going to come from a disempowered place. But as soon as you realize the power that your mind actually has to create your 3D world, you're going to look at shit a lot differently. I know so many people that are victims of the circumstances they created. He left me and now I have to do this, or she doesn't love me, or my boss treats me like shit. I have news for everybody that is a victim of their own reality. You created that. Your own belief system created that. Oh, she cheated on me. You created that reality by not feeling worthy of someone loving you fully. Anything that is in your reality, you created. If you have a car that breaks down all the time, you created that reality. You don't believe that you are worth having a brand new car that works, that is safe for you. What's Robert saying? Yes, the truthers are better off letting go and building their vibrations. It will create more positive change. Treating conspiracies like a religion drags the energy down. It's a trap. Robert, I'm going to read that again. Treating conspiracies like a religion drags their energy down. Robert, you should make a post out of that, actually. Can you screenshot that and literally make a post out of that? Because that's amazing. Treating conspiracies like a religion. And that is exactly what people do in the truther community. They look for the next conspiracy so they can get the most likes and don't even realize that they are helping to co-create the very reality that they claim they're fighting to be free from. Treating conspiracies like a religion. All it does is brings the vibrational frequency down. We have to take responsibility. Benny, that's amazing. But we have to take responsibility for our part in why this world looks the way that it does. And until you realize that you are creating everything that's happening, and so is everybody else, you're going to look at your world a whole lot differently, because you realize my thoughts really do create. And if my thoughts are that powerful, and if my thoughts really do create, how am I going to change that? How am I going to shift from a poverty mindset to, I can never afford that? And oh my God, you're crazy. You can never go there. I know so many people with that mindset. I've told people my ideas my whole life from when I was young. I always thought very big. And people are like, you can't do that. Oh my God, how are you going to do that? I never gave a shit how. The how was never important to me. It was just the knowingness that I was going to have it. I always said, I'm going to move to California. I always said I was going to be an entertainer. And I was those things. I created my reality. When I had an idea about something, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just knew that it was going to happen. So if we have that kind of mindset and we take away from the poverty or the lack mindset, your one shift of energy can trickle out into every person that is around you. Once you shift your vibrational frequency, people around you are either going to gravitate toward it and wonder how you're doing it and wonder why you're so positive all of a sudden, or wonder why your life's changing, and they're going to want to know, or they're going to want to elevate with you, or they're going to be so out of vibrational alignment that they're just not going to be in your life anymore. And something will happen to make that a reality. Whether you get into just a random fight, or whether this person got a job somewhere far away, you're going to have that separation because you're no longer listening to the same radio station. I'm listening to hip hop and you're listening to country. We're not on the same frequency. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm just giving an example. Some people belittle my lifelong dream to travel and live in my bus motorhome. They just don't understand. And the thing about our life and journey is that people don't have to understand your life. People don't have to understand your wants or desires. All your job is to fulfill them and to believe that you can have it, and to see yourself traveling in your motorhome, having the most amazing time, seeing the most amazing things out in nature or whatever it is that you want. No one has to understand your dreams because they are yours. Just like the people growing up with me didn't understand my dreams, and I didn't care. So yes, it is our job and responsibility to co-create this world. And you can participate in it however you want, but just know that you are participating. So if you're constantly talking about negative things, if you're constantly sharing negative things, if you're constantly in a negative space, talking about how hard your life is, oh, I'm always sick, whatever it is, know that you are co-creating the reality that you want or don't want, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly. If that makes sense. Let me just see if I missed any comments. Are a lot of people just like listening today? I feel like there's not a lot of comments and just people popping in and out. Universal mental mind of God, matrix, womb of its existence. Is that like one sentence? I don't know. Let me just read a second. I guess. Okay. People are listening. Mary's in here. So many understand my dreams but don't understand divine timing. So from what I have understood or read about divine timing, because people always say like, oh, it's everything happens at the right time. And I believe that the right time or the divine time is when you are in perfect alignment with it. And sometimes people want things right away, or they think that they're in vibrational alignment with something and they're not. And there's certain things that have to unfold to bring you to where you need to go. And that's happened a lot for me, is that I believed I was in vibrational alignment with something and I really wasn't. Like there was so much more work that I had to do to shift out of a lower space to be able to get what I wanted. And there's many people that will give up on the idea of manifestation or the idea of prayer because they don't get what they want. But if you're not a vibrational match, okay, for example, you're looking everywhere for a rock and roll radio station. You're going through every single station. That rock and roll station is on a certain frequency. And for whatever reason, the rock and roll station exists, but you're not finding it because you can't get to that frequency of where it is. For whatever reason, you just can't find it. And then one day, you're like, oh my God, let me try this. And a light bulb pops off in your head. And you try that and you're like, oh my God, there's the rock and roll station. You're now a vibrational match for that rock and roll station. And you're like, okay, this is great. Now I can listen to rock and roll because I have that vibrational alignment. But if you're not in the vibrational match for something, you're going to miss it. It's going to go up here and you're going to be down here or whatever it is. And people want everything when they want it, but we can't have things when we want it unless we are in the vibrational match. And that's just the reality. That's just the way it goes. It's not, I didn't make this up. That's just how it goes. Someone was talking about that energy can never be destroyed. And it can't. So everything that you already want already exists. You just have to tap into where it is to get it and access it. Right? And there's sometimes you may be in a vibrational match with something that you really, really want. And then there's some event that happens in your life and you become out of alignment with that. And you're like, wait, how did I manifest that before? Like, where was my mind that I was able to manifest that then, but now I can't have it? Why am I not in vibrational match? How did I get there before? So if you want to recreate things that have happened in your life, maybe it's wealth and then you lost everything. There are some kind of mental beliefs, subconscious beliefs that led you to that level of wealth, but also led you to the bankruptcy or to whatever happened so that it fell apart. So think about where your mindset was when you were able to create this wealth, or when you were able to see it all fall apart. How did that all happen? Or when you were in a relationship, where was your mindset then? And then where was your mindset when things started to fall apart? I can guarantee you were in some insecure state. Oh, this person's probably talking to somebody else, or this person's looking at this other person, or, I know that this person's not going to be faithful to me. We all create our reality. So as long as we take responsibility of that reality, we'll understand how powerful our thoughts are, and we're not going to continue to create them over and over and over again. So this whole entire life is about us taking responsibility and accountability for us literally creating the reality that we're living in that we don't want. The more you share negative shit, the more you ruminate negativity in your mind, that's all that you're going to see in your reality. You can't have a negative mindset and think that you're going to have this amazing life. You're going to wonder why you don't, but you're not going to live as if you do, because you can't. You literally just can't. Identity alignment. If at the core my self-worth is lacking, we can only go so far externally. Exactly. If you're lacking in your core, I'm not loved, I'm not chosen, I'm not worthy. If you always come from a jealous state of mind, that's coming from lack. People that are jealous of others. There's a lot of people in the truther movement. There's a lot of nut jobs in the truther movement. Complete nut jobs. Most of them have a lack mentality. When I talk about my retreat, for example, why is it so expensive? I'm like, excuse me, what vacation do you go on that's for free? Who do you think is paying for this? And it happens all the time. Why are you charging so much? My cost of my retreat is literally the same cost as everything else. Should I call the retreat place and say, hey, can you give it to me for free? Because all the people that follow my account, not all, I'm saying people in the truther community. People in the truther community feel that everything should be for free. So can you just work that out for me? I would really appreciate it. Like, I can't even understand that. Well, people can't afford. Who created that reality? You did. I don't do anything half-ass. I'm not going to throw some shitty retreat so that everybody can come to it. I just don't operate that way. I like nice things. I like for people to enjoy themselves. I like to create something that is worthy. You are worthy of a great experience. So because you think from a lack mentality that you don't deserve or I can't afford, doesn't mean that everybody comes from that space. And if I'm creating something, it's going to be something grand. I don't have a non-creative bone in my body. I don't. I'm an artist through and through. So when people, and even my healer that was in here, I don't know if Robert's still in here, like, he's not super expensive, but there are people that say, oh, well, if you're a healer, you should do it for free. Do I ask you to come and paint my house for free because you know how to paint? That mentality makes me absolutely insane, and I just have to blast people for it because I'm over it. So if you come from a lack mentality, you need to figure out why. And that's not anybody else's problem. Because you have a lack mindset doesn't mean that I should give away my talents for free. Does not mean that I should give away my time. Does not mean that I should donate my own money because you don't believe that you're worth what I'm offering you. That ain't my problem, sister and brothers. It is not my problem, nor is it anybody else's. If you come from a lack mentality, that's your problem. When you come from abundance and you're so grateful, like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I can have this experience. I'm so grateful for the places that I live in or the places that I can go to. I'm so grateful that I can afford this. Your life is going to shift. I promise you. But when you go out into the world thinking everybody's trying to get over on you, oh, this person's charging this much, and why is this person doing that? Because this person is smart. this person wants to create an experience for somebody, or this person wants to create an abundant lifestyle for themselves. Are there people that are all about the money? Sure. Yeah, there are. But I think that you can discern from that. I hope. But the reality is that mindset, that lack mentality is your fault. That is on you. So you don't push that on to other people because you don't believe in a system where you should be abundant, or a lifestyle or a mindset that you should be abundant. That ain't my problem, cuz it's just not. So, if I can say anything, it's to just be grateful for everything you have, even if you're in the shittiest place. Look at homeless people. Some of those people are happier than a pig in shit. Because to them, being homeless doesn't mean anything. They can go wherever they want. They can do whatever they please. Maybe they like that life. There's nobody to tell you that you should live like this or you should live like that. And people within the truther community think that they have the authority or the right to tell people how they should live or what they should do. And then want to protest the government that wants full control over us. But you're the one that's trying to control what other people do and what other people say and how other people think. If you let everybody be their own person and just give them the information to educate themselves on how you can have a better life or have a better mindset, the world's going to change. Robert is still in here. The client invests money to balance the service you provide. The universe likes a balance. I have clients who voluntarily pay twice what I charge. And again, it's an energy exchange. So if you're constantly giving something away, let's just take a painter, for example. If you told a painter, come to my house and paint because you know how to paint, but I'm not going to pay you because you know how to do it. That's not an energy exchange. That's you taking advantage of people. So say back in the day, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, they didn't have currency. So if you came and helped somebody fix a leak in their house or something, you bake them a loaf of bread. You have the energy exchange. So the fact that people have a mentality that think that they should get everything for nothing, you're out of balance. You're out of alignment completely and out of your mind at the same time. Everything is an energy exchange. So once we look at that, whether you believe in what people charge or anything, that is the way that your mind works, and that you don't believe someone is worthy of something. But because the person that is charging whatever their fees and services are believe so highly in what they can provide for you, they're worth every penny. When you go to a friggin' art exhibit and you literally, it looks like a preschooler drew circles with different color crayons, and you're like, oh, that painting's worth 500 million. You're just like, now to you, there's no value in it. But for whatever fucking crazy reason, this artist created some nonsensical painting that's worth 500 million. That person believes that that's their worth. So if you have a different mindset where you don't believe you're worth anything, don't throw that shit on other people and expect it to stick. Because I know, and I'm always learning my worth and my value. So if you don't believe in my worth and value, go find somebody who will do something for you for $2, like people with makeup artistry. I've been a makeup artist for a long time. Well, why do you charge this price? Go find somebody that'll charge you $20 and then come and take a picture and show me how you look. You determine your value. You determine your value. Steph, I think you're in here. If you're in here, request. You determine your value and worth. And then other people reflect that back to you. That's it. There's no secret sauce. There's no mystery. You determine your worth and value, and other people show you exactly what you believe to be of yourself. That's it. That's it. I think Stephanie might hop on so we could talk a couple minutes about the retreat. Is that why so many people want things for free? Because they don't feel they deserve something worth more? That's a great question. That's a really great question. Do you feel worthy? Why should I pay for somebody because they think this of themselves when I don't think that of myself? And a lot of people in the truther movement come from a very lack mentality, that belief system. And I don't know where it came from. Because you don't go to a food store and just take everything that you want. You're like, well, you know, it was found in nature and a company made this, so I'm just going to take it. Like where does that even, how does it even work? I'm not sure. But I'm going to bring Stephanie in. We're going to chat about the retreat for a little bit. Mamacita. Let's see. Okay, there we go. You look so beautiful this morning.
To you. And I'm loving it. It's amazing. And what so many of us need to hear.
Steph, because it drives me nuts.
I know.
Whenever I post, and we're going to talk about the retreat, but whenever I post about things regarding anything that costs something, there are always at least a few people are like, well, why should you charge for this? I'm like, well, do you think that the money's going to fall out of the sky and things happen for free? Like, how does that work? I was like, please let me know what vacation you go on that's free, because it just simply exists. Come here, eat, stay. It's a 5-star resort. You're going to stay for free. Sure, absolutely. Sign me up.
Sign me up. It's like what we used to talk about when we were talking about people teaching about manifestation and how it's like you reject the 3D until you are
right.
And we used to talk like, do we take the magic carpet instead of taking the airplane? Like, we have to take the airplane. We need to buy the tickets, and there's energy exchange for that. So yes, we're here, and this is the terms of agreement. I feel being a walk-in soul, one of my first incarnations being a human, I feel like it is crazy that that's what goes on, that you do need to have an energy exchange. But I feel like that's the terms of agreement here. That's what we all agree to, that there is an energy exchange. So instead of missing it, I feel like it's just so much better to find a way to, like you've been teaching us this morning, to be in alignment with it.
That's the key right there, is the alignment. And for anybody that doesn't know, Robert's in here. Stephanie's going to do a session with Robert tomorrow, but Robert, I'm so excited about it. I was talking to possibly, I don't know if this will happen, to possibly have Robert also speak at the retreat, but we'll talk about that after. But this is for anybody that doesn't know. Steph, do you want to just give a brief intro to yourself?
Yes, I am Steph.
About yourself.
I'm a soul friend of Krystal's, and I am a walk-in soul, and my knowing is about relationship, energetics, and soul contracts. And I'm just super excited to be part of the retreat and to be part of Krystal, your world, and just how you teach all of us and inspire all of us. So, yes.
But you do the same. So Stephanie is going to be at the retreat, and she's going to be one of the speakers. And I'm just super excited about the value that you bring, because you've helped me. Stephanie and I were on the phone for 2 hours last night. We were having a major catch-up session, and she just makes you see things in life so differently and come from such a different space. And Steph is considered a soul connector, but was also a matchmaker. Is that what you would call yourself? Or
so I worked for a boutique matchmaking firm for 13 years, and I created the coaching program that we ran with all of our clients. So that program was intended to just help people understand their subconscious beliefs about relationships and about their relationship patterns, and to really make sure that they had a good, solid relationship with themselves before they looked to call in somebody else, so that they didn't repeat that same pattern. And not in that, like, you have to love yourself, you have to be whole, you have to be completely healed, because I don't personally subscribe to that. I think that you can, I think healing is transformation. So I feel that you are living, you are healing by making different choices. And I like the idea that people feel that they have to be in a certain place before they can start calling in the experiences that they want. So that was the foundation of the coaching program that I created.
It is amazing. So I just felt that Stephanie would be like such an amazing addition, because there's so many people that have this difficulty with relationships, and especially now, like, people feel excluded, they feel lonely. And I was at a wedding over the weekend, and I was talking to a childhood friend. He was like, because I didn't get this, he was like, I was excluded from my family, like from holidays. Like I was unable to have Christmas with them and stuff. So there's so much of that happening right now. And there is that big separation that, you know, that there isn't enough people to go around, or people that are single are just like, oh my God, there's just like not enough, you know, of people and stuff because of different political beliefs, religious beliefs, or medical beliefs, all this stuff. So there's so much of this separation. And I think that you would just be so helpful for people to really call in what it is that they want in their relationship or for a relationship.
Yes. And I think that what's so special too is that that you created the retreat to help people find their tribe, right? And anyone
Yeah.
can be your connection to the one. So if you put yourself in an environment where you're connecting with people who are like-minded and like-hearted, which was one of the biggest reasons why you created the retreat, I feel
Yeah.
that, you know, if you are single and you go, the chances of one of us knowing somebody that we can connect you with, I feel like also is just so significant. And then the
Yeah.
other two, I'm sorry, we're getting construction done in our house. So
Okay.
that's, um, but this idea of every person that, you know, anytime that all of us who are speaking at the retreat have connected and talked, like, we're all really excited to give everybody an experience. It's not going to be us, you know, standing on a stage, you know, from a distance
Right.
teaching, or really going to be all of us together with the intention to create
Yeah.
that transformation and for us to learn from one another. So I appreciate that so much, because I feel like you and I both have been to so many conferences and so many masterminds and so many places where there's just the disconnect. And I feel like not you bring everybody together to find your tribe, but also to really support each other.
Absolutely. That's so important to me, is to have that togetherness, and just we're all together. We're going to have meals together, and everything is going to be like, you know, in a yoga type setting room where it's just like beautiful beaches and beautiful backgrounds, and us having that conversation, be able to ask questions, and really find your people. Being in the dating world always sucked, but now it really sucks. Do you have anything to respond to that, Steph?
Yeah, so that's also just a belief system, right? That
Mhm.
we are all taught, and it's a collective belief system, right? Because it's the belief system of so many people who are single, and for whatever reason, that we just have to shift your paradigm around that, because it doesn't have to be that way. That doesn't have to be the program that you're running when it comes to being single.
Right.
Um, and if you want, I don't know who just wrote that, but from my manuscript, I have a whole chapter about that, about your beliefs and dating. So if you want me to send you that chapter, just send me a DM and I'm happy to send it to you.
Thank you for doing it. Let me put your handle down here too.
Yeah, so sorry about backgrounds.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
So guys, make sure you follow Stephanie the Walk, and her posts are amazing. They're very detailed and just talks about her incredible journey, being a walk-in soul. And I want her to talk about that too when we're at the retreat, your entire story, because it's so insane, but it just goes to show why you're so unique and special, and why you're so great at the work that you do, because you literally always look at things from a very different perspective, just like what we were talking about last night.
Yeah.
And the experience that I'm having and stuff, with someone that I'm close to, and it just all unfolds so amazingly. So even though like Stephanie is so amazing at what she does, but she struggles with her own stuff from the experiences that she had, but she's still able to really look at things from a very, very different view and understanding. So she's going to do her healing session tomorrow with Robert, and I'm hoping I know there's going to be an incredible shift in that. So it's super, super exciting. Steph, do
Yeah.
you want to talk about that quickly? Because someone said, wow, you're a walk-in soul. That's amazing.
Yeah, so a walk-in soul is basically a soul who walks in after the body was already in the womb and after the body was already born. And there's a soul contract between me and the original soul. I feel like what makes my walk-in experience also really unique is that, and not that I know so many walk-in souls, I've connected with two in this life.
Wow.
But me and Justin, so Justin is my oldest son. He'll be 9 next Monday. He and I were both spirit guides to the original soul. And so the whole reason why I came in was because if I didn't, she would have taken her own life. And so I had a purpose. My soul had a purpose for being here. And so we agreed that I would come in. The other thing that makes I feel like my experience unique is that she stayed here. So it was her soul and my soul living in this body until her father passed away last October. So I feel like that's also because there were two souls in this body, and I'm not schizophrenic and I'm not bipolar, and
Right. Right.
but because so much of her trauma, I mean, she really chose to incarnate into such a dark, dense family. And so because so much of her trauma happened when she was such a young child, I experienced her soul as very much like you would your inner child, right? So when we have inner child is acting out, there's that. But one of the reasons why I'm so excited to work with Robert and why I'm always investing in just different healing modalities is not only to try to keep my channel clear, but also because there's still so much trauma stuck in these cells. Because when you take on the body, you take on all of the karma and all of the unresolved wounding that hasn't been transformed yet. And so there's definitely that piece to my story too. So it's wild to know who I am as a soul, and then to also have this experience in a physical body that has been through so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a couple people that are not really understanding what a walk-in soul is. Can you just explain it a little?
Yes. So it is a soul contract between you and another soul, where the original soul who was born into the body leaves and goes through a life review as if they passed away. My soul walked in. So I walked in during a surgery when this body was 17 years old. The original soul did not leave though, which is, from my understanding, not common. It's usually when walk-in comes in, the original soul leaves and goes through their life review like we, I'm just reading the questions too. Go through a life review like we go through when we die. So I also know about life reviews because that I know. And I really support people. And this is something that I'm really excited to help people do during the retreat, to do our life reviews, while we are still alive. You don't have to wait until your physical body passes to think about how you're showing up in your life, and to think about your life as if it is complete, because that definitely shifts the way that you go about your day. It changes your whole perspective about life. So what makes one know that they are walking? It is just my knowing. I don't know how else to say it. And from the other two walk-ins that I did meet in this lifetime, and they both do such gorgeous work in this world, they just knew too. You just know when you get here. So I got here during a surgery when I was this body was 17 years old, but the original soul did not leave. And I think someone also asked if my son Justin is a walk-in. No. I miscarried him, and he remembers. He did not want to be in a boy's body. He didn't want to be in a girl's body in this lifetime. So he miscarried, and then he chose Ari, who's my youngest son, his baby brother, and said that he waited for me to be his mom again. So he was not a walk-in. My soul and his soul are so deeply connected, and he also just knows who he is and why he's here. And yeah, I feel grateful, truly grateful.
Mm-hmm. And someone asked if you do private session stuff.
Yes.
Personal appointments, yes. So I'm going to put Stephanie's handle again down here so you can reach out to her. Always does this. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Stephanie, the walk-in is her. Go ahead, what's that?
I hope I'm answering everybody's questions.
No, you are. You absolutely are.
No, it's for me, it's just my knowing. I'm explaining it clearly, or if anybody has any questions about it. But it's yes, is a life review similar to regression when working with mediums? So I don't experience it like a regression because I don't look at it as we're going back. I look at it as we are being totally present with where we are now, and we are just choosing to think about the impact that our life has, choosing to think about, which also from our conversation last night too, Krystal, it just has me thinking just about what legacy are we leaving? Like, are we really sharing our gifts? Like, will every single one of us end our life knowing that we gave everything, that we gave everything? Right. There was not a gift that remains inside of us, that there was not a gift that remained unshared. And when you start living from that place where you know that if you're here, you have a reason for being here. And if you know that you're right. Know that you can't do your soul's work wrong. And there's no way to do your life wrong. So if you know that, and that's why I just also feel so grateful for you, Krystal. And one of the other reasons why I'm so excited about everybody at the retreat, because I feel like everybody at the retreat lives their life in this way, that everyone who's going to be speaking at the retreat, who you brought together, is sharing all of their gifts. Like if you look at your sister, like Jen, like she's not leaving anything out. Like every single day she wakes up and she is sharing her gifts, and she's so many gifts. She's just such a student of life, and she's just sharing, and she just wants to teach everybody what she knows. And Lindsay with her frequency medicine, and Ben with his teaching about plants and the importance of what we eat. And I just feel like everybody, Johnny, like everyone that you brought together is committed to sharing all of our gifts. And I feel excited for all of the participants because they will get that from all of us.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. It's going to be so good. I really hope all of you can join. It's going to be really just.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. Yes.
Yes.
It's good to hug everyone in person. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, it's going to be so good. Someone asked about walk-ins if they walk in during life moments like surgery or accidents. Absolutely.
Guys, the info is pinned down here. When the retreat is, it's March 22nd to the 27th, 2023 in Tulum, Mexico. So it is a destination place, and yeah, that's good.
And tell about like the space that you picked out. I feel like everything you did was just intentional.
Well, I spent I think I spent 30 days in a row searching. Yeah. Hours a day searching. Actually the US first. I looked everywhere. There was a couple really amazing spaces in the US, but either they still had restrictions. You have to show your V card, or you had to get tested, and I obviously would never have that happen. They aren't gonna mandate. I don't believe that as of now there are no mandates at all. There's no restrictions going into Mexico. I know so many people that go back and forth there, but none of them were as magical as the place that I found in Tulum. And when I saw it, I was just like, I just saw all of us there in that space, especially in that one space. It's like all open and you could just see the ocean, and just to have all of that nature around us and have beautiful weather and everything. Like I just knew that that was the place. And there's so many people that do retreats down in Tulum. So I'm like, that's one of the places I've never been and I've always wanted to go to. And so I was like, this is the place. And it gave me the best price, believe it or not, because we were talking about the price earlier. All the places in the US were way more expensive even. And it just seemed like the best place to go is Mexico is open. For Canadians, it's hard to fly to USA. You need to fly direct. Okay, so even so, like, there are ways to do it. There are possibilities for people coming from places like communist Canada, that you can, that you can get there freely and hopefully. So I'm just super excited about it. Like, found the place, found the space, and then found the team to do it with. And it's just going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
Amazing. And I just like, even behind when we are talking about it and meeting about it, it's just everyone's heart is in the same exact place. Like everyone is just really committed to serving everybody that's going to be there. Like we are committed to everybody actualizing the intention that Krystal, you created, which is for you to connect with your soul tribe and for you to have a transformation and for you to leave feeling nourished on every single level, right? Your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body. Like Krystal really took this 4-body manifestation model and made sure that there were aspects of it all just covered, right? So if you're looking at like your physical body, like the food that's going to be there. I mean, just the food is, talk about food alone is just
beautiful,
gorgeous. Like the food are just as beautiful.
I know. I'm like, I'll go just for the food.
Same. But you have like, so what you're talking about your physical body and whether that is, what Ben's going to be teaching us or what Rodney's going to be.
Rodney,
just like, and then you have the emotional regulation pieces, where you're teaching all of us how to rewire our nervous system. And then you have the subconscious reprogramming with you and with Jen and then Lindsay with her codes. And I feel like Johnny and I speak so much about that spiritual piece. And we all talk about all the pieces, but I just feel like we really took a 4-body approach to this and really made it holistic, where no matter what level you're struggling on, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you gave us this gorgeous environment where you can address whatever level you need to be addressed and know that there's going to be an expert there to support you. And I just feel like that's unheard of. And not just that's going to support you, that wants to support you. And that's not going from a place of, I'm the expert, I'm going to stand on stage, I'm going to do my hour, done. Like it's no, we're sharing a house together. Like we are going to be with everybody. That was the big thing. Like we don't even want there to be a stage. We just want to be with everybody that's going. And I just feel like that's totally because Krystal, because of you and what you've created.
Thank you.
Yes. So you're just the best.
I was visualizing last night. Yes, it's for men and women, so it'll be both. I know they do like, there's tons of spa treatments there, but they do like the mud bath things.
Yes.
So I was visualizing myself in that, submerged in all of this
in the mud,
sacred mud. Yes, that's Yeah. So it's
flowers. We'll just have to be the lotus flowers, right? Who grow in the darkness in that muddy, murky water, and are just some of the most beautiful expressions ever. Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. So
thank you.
Just when you didn't think it could get any better, there's mud bath experiences there.
Yes. I gotta send you some of the stuff. Oh my God.
Yes.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so rejuvenating. We were talking about manifestation, but yes, the retreat also. The retreat there is a sale today. Today's the last day for the Black Friday sale, which gives you $1,500 off of the tickets. So that's a lot.
So that's why we wanted to make sure that you knew about it, that we answered all your questions about it, that you could how excited we are about it, that you could hear how all of the speakers are just connecting with each other, because we want to give all of you that experience. Like we really just, we want it to be an experience. You weren't doing this, talking about the energy exchange. This was like this is a love project for you. This isn't, Krystal, I feel like there are a million other ways that you could make money, right? Like this is not like the project that you woke up and you were like, how can I make as much money as fast as possible?
Right.
It's a heart project that is, how can I serve as many people in the most truthful and heartfelt way as possible? And yes, to be able to know that that's where it's coming from. I feel like also just breaks you. I mean, the money, yes, like you deserve all the money in the world for doing what you do. It's just to say that this is like on a heart level. This goes so much deeper than the physical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So good.
That's gonna be good. Yep.
Be so good.
And we also hope to scholarship at least 2 people that can't afford it to come. So, yeah, really excited about it, and growing this organization, Nourish My Soul, and helping people with holistic healing modalities that can't afford it. So yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining this morning, Steph. You're the best.
Thank you for you. Love you so much.
And then I get to see your face this morning after 2 hours on the phone last night.
Happy to connect. All right. Well, we wish everybody such a day.
Thank you. I love you so much.
Love you. Bye.
Have a good day. Is there a cutoff time to get your tickets? It's in March, so we didn't do the cutoff yet. We did not do the cutoff yet for the tickets. I have to get the date because since we moved the date from January to March, I have to get that cutoff date. I can reach out to them today and see when the last time is, or the last date that you can purchase tickets. But thank you guys so much for joining. And today, again, is the last day. You can get the info at nourishmysoulretreats.org. Use code BLKFRDY. And if you have any questions, just make sure you send me a DM. I think most of the information is on the website. I will be teaching yoga at the retreat. Yes, the first thing in the morning, we'll be doing yoga. And then after that, there's going to be a lot of different people speaking. But there's also going to be downtime because, listen, Tulum is beautiful. I don't want everybody to sit there and just listen to people talk all day. Like, we got to go to the beach. We got to go to the pool. We got to get mud baths. We got to do relaxation things. So there's a lot of different stuff. And I don't want it to just be lectures all day. Like, I want people to really enjoy the experience and like have that vacation, but also have the learning experience, meeting cool people. And we're going to be doing everything together. We're going to be eating meals together. So there's not like separation or of any kind or anything. And it's going to be a very relaxed environment. I don't like things that are formal. I like to be in yoga pants barefoot most places. So that's the exact experience that I want for people, is to just have a very relaxing, you could be in your bathing suit, you could be in your yoga pants, you could be in whatever you want, and just come to have the experience of meeting new people, have the experience of finding people that you truly connect with. And that is really my main thing, is that connection piece. And I've been to so many other events where I've met really cool people, and I've been to other events where it didn't feel very inclusive. I want this to be like we're having a big slumber party together for 4 nights. You can get more details. Guys, look at the pinned comment. www.nourishmysoulretreats.org. You can find all the information there. Who's speaking, what's going to be happening, pricing, all the details will be there. Pictures of the hotel, pictures of everything. You can wear your birthday suit, Ben. You're welcome. You're welcome. If you want to be naked, come naked. I don't know if the resort will allow that, but I'm just saying. So I love you guys lots. Thanks for hanging in there with me longer today than normal. And there's also a payment plan, last thing. So if you don't want to pay it in a lump sum, there is a payment plan that you can do, like $4.98 a month. But that's all detailed on the website. So thank you all. Have an amazing day and week. I'll be on with Johnny probably tomorrow afternoon too. So thank you guys and love you lots.